For the last 10 years, every Steam game I've collected barely hit even 2 hours of playtime, all because of that one single game. You know, the one that might not even be fun anymore, but you still play it for the simple reason of just because. I don't mean to brag, but I'm kind of an expert at not having fun. You can tell by my years wasting time playing League of Legends and Rust.
I can't wait to fucking destroy these fucking loser morons. These guys are going down, honestly. These guys suck at the game and everything else in real life.
Dude, calm down.
Even though my brain has been thoroughly rotted, I'm here to tell you that there is a much bigger world out there when it comes to games. That's why I want to tell my story about the constant trap myself and tons of other people fall into without even realizing, and how climbing out of it completely changed the enjoyment I get out of playing games. What made me think hard about this topic was something that happened fairly recently during the Game Awards, and it wasn't until recently that I put it all together. The Game Awards is an award show that kind of feels like the new version of E3. Please God, tell me someone remembers that. Except the Game Awards are like 30% awards and 70% trailers. It's an event that's gone on for years, so they can hype us up to pre-order a bunch of new games. And you know what? We slurp it up every year. Jeff Keighley is the main host and acts like the fortune teller, letting us know all the ways we're gonna fork over cash for the upcoming releases.
If you truly love video games like I do, this moment is for all of us.
There's been some discourse about if games this year were kind of lame and boring, but to me, that just equals lots of dopamine injecting trailers that we get to look forward to for next year. That's what I thought at first, but as the show went on, I noticed that something felt off.
Hydrobot was nowhere to be found.
Fuck!
Oh, and also these new experiences that everyone was freaking out about, it just wasn't doing it for me. The Witcher 4, I never played it. Okami's sequel looks cool, but I never played that either. Borderlands 4. Wait, there was a third one?
What up, my Bandit fans?
Hell, I didn't even play over half the nominees for Game of the Year. It was cool, but to be honest, I just didn't feel like I cared, like, at all. It's not like games this year were bad, and to be honest, it was a pretty good show. I'm not depressed, and I don't hate games, so what exactly is going on? Then I thought about it. I didn't play over 80% of these games. There were so many series I wasn't caught up with and I just didn't know about. And it's all because most of my time this year has been eaten up by one single game. The truth is, I've been living under a rock, and I've kind of been doing it for years. But now the question is, how does a singular game like this even trap you in the first place? I could go as far back as the first time I downloaded League of Legends in middle school, but because I want to minimize talking about League as much as possible, let's go with the more recent addiction of mine. Remember when everyone was staying indoors for quarantine? Everything on the news was so negative, and while staying inside wasn't really new to me as a professional no-lifer, I needed something overly distracting. That's when scrolling through my Steam library, one singular game caught my eye. Rust. I know what you're thinking. No, I'm not racist, but I am competitive and a huge fan of survival games. There was just something that really scratched the itch in my monkey brain to hit my friends with a rock and build a wooden house. So I did. From then until now, I've spent over 4,000 hours playing this game. In just the year 2024, over 66% of my entire playtime in all games was in Rust. This game is addictive. The dopamine shots being fired into my neurons and the fun I was having with my friends made such good memories. This is where all my time was spent. It was the perfect escapism for me. I know. If you're having fun, then what's the problem? Who even cares about Astrobot winning Game of the Year?
Besides Black Myth Wukong fans.
I get it, but to be honest, how many times have you sat down, hopped into a solo queue game of your choice, and did nothing but spam matches for hours on end until you couldn't keep your eyes open anymore? I did this all the time. Just a few more hours to grind. Sure, all my friends stopped playing months ago, but at this point, the routine of mindlessly numbing myself with what used to be a hobby had full control of me. In the back of my mind, I knew I was never going to be a professional player. And the competitive side of me that got me playing in the first place had slowly subsided over the years. If I lost, I'd get upset, and if I won, well, to be honest, I didn't really feel anything. It was just a part of the climb. You find a game, you play it until it isn't fun, and then you keep playing until eventually a new game takes its place. It could be months, or in a lot of cases, years long. This is what happened to me, and I'm calling it the one game cycle, or just OGC. You get stuck in a loop playing something you don't enjoy for a number of different reasons. Alright, so now we know what the cycle is, but how exactly did I know I was in it? The thing is, I didn't just have a magical epiphany that I was wasting hours doing things like hitting rocks. It was something I sort of discovered by accident. When I play games and have fun, I like to do something that I think everyone should do: take screenshots of whatever game I'm playing. I do this a lot. Now, the last game addiction I had was Rust, so obviously I can't really show you a lot of the screenshots I took of the interesting creations other players have made, but what I did do was take pictures of my friends and I having the best time ever. Being naked, freezing to death while playing the piano, putting a horse on a dance pad, breaking into a psychopath's base, and finding a row of human heads mounted on the wall. It was really one of the best times I've ever had in a game, but like a lot of popular multiplayer games like this, it requires a lot of your time. There's a saying, playing Rust is like having a full-time job, and it is. The progression resets every week, and you can progress almost infinitely. For someone like me who's naturally drawn to games with competitive and progression aspects, this game is actually like crack. But if I show you these pictures again, you'll notice that there were less and less people playing. And eventually, every picture I had was me, alone, sitting in a giant base I had stayed up until 5 a.m. building, that I would abandon the next day, all while ignoring my friends to play other games. When I look back through my timeline of screenshots, it made me realize that I had a huge problem. The one game cycle was happening all over again. By realizing this and doing the unthinkable of uninstalling these games, that one singular action would change how I view games completely. I'm not gonna lie though, leaving a comfort zone game is hard, especially weaning myself off of something that has little to no substance but competition.
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh! Now that I was out into this strange world of trying a new game, I decided to go with one that was recommended to me 1,000 times. Outer Wilds. This is kind of the complete opposite of what I was used to because my brain was so rotted, I actually ended up hating it. But it was my fault. I rushed through it, I didn't read anything, and I actually looked up guides on how to progress. It wasn't until months later that I actually realized that slowing down and enjoying games is okay. Not only that, but playing games with friends like Lethal Company, Content Warning, Golf with Friends, Pow World, Party Animals, all of these games were not only extremely fun, but I made such good memories.
Oh shit, behind you! Behind you, man! No!
And if you don't have friends, I tried playing classic remakes of games that I never played before, like Final Fantasy VII and Silent Hill 2, and to no one's surprise, they were fucking amazing. All of a sudden, my list of favorite games of all time was growing. And for when you don't want to spend money, maybe you can sail the high seas, or explore the vast number of cheap indie games that come out literally daily. I check through these games often for my stream, and while the quality can vary, genuinely, I don't regret spending my time experiencing these new games because it's a hell of a lot better than grinding in a game that I played 1,000 hours by myself every night. I can't express how much doing this has made me learn new things about myself and have way more fun. And that's why I'm making this video about it. Breaking the cycle isn't easy, and it's going to be the same for everyone. There's going to be a million different ways you can do it, and how should you know if it's even a problem anyways? I think the answer to if you should do it can feel pretty simple, and to be honest, it is. Are you having fun? If the answer is yes, then keep having fun. But if it's starting to feel like a drag, then take that year-old game recommendation a friend sent you, or dust off the random things in your Steam library. Hell, you can even emulate a game for free. I've personally been playing Pokemon Black 2 every night before bed. To me, games are a combination of escapism and good experiences. So I have a long list to get through I've ignored over the years, and maybe you do too. I think tonight I'll start with replaying an old favorite, Rust. Look, it's overwhelming to pick a new game to play, I get it. Lucky for you, in my effort to try new games, I've become a connoisseur in the unknown, and I can give you only the best recommendations. So check out this video next that explores the weird world of anime games on Steam.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh!